The most underrated team in the transfer portal right now is Arizona State. That is Richie Bradshaw of Locked On Arizona State Sun Devils joining me here to discuss. So I love what ASU is doing. They are capitalizing on the momentum they built this season, winning the Big 12, almost getting to the college football playoff semifinal in the game against Texas. And look, the last time I talked about the Sun Devils on the show, Richie, I said, an expectation to win the Big 12 championship, that's a bit far. Even though you have Sam Levitt, you lose Cam Scadaboo. I like the Kanye Udo edition. We'll get your thoughts on that. But the commits just keep rolling in. Now there's a former 5-star corner and a former 4-star wide receiver who have come in to Arizona State. This looks like a major opportunity for the Sun Devils to pounce on the momentum they had in year two, under Dillingham.
Right. And I think that's where you're seeing ASU is right now, is they're really focused on maintaining the momentum. We've seen that over 50 players from this year's roster are returning to 2025. We've seen that 17 of 22
starters. Say that number again.
Over 50.
50. 5-0.
5-0. Yep. 17 of 22 starters. And keep in mind, there's guys that were like rotated in that weren't considered starters but saw significant time. They're coming back. Your quarterback, your number one receiver, pretty much your entire defense is back. All of your coaching staff is back. So they're looking to build on the momentum that they have established. And the best way to do that not only is player retention and staff retention, but it's making sure that you make the right offseason moves to fill in some of the gaps. Replacing Cam Scadaboo, the people's running back, you're not going to do that. What you can do is find a way to replace his production. If you can get his numbers from this year, 1,700 yards, 20-plus touchdowns. If you can get that from the running back room as a group, that's a win for you. So you just need to find guys who can replace production and have the younger guys who can step up. But bringing all those guys back and then making the moves that they're making, yeah, you can tell that ASU is entirely intent on making sure this isn't a Cinderella team and this is a team that is just getting started for years to come.
You've seen Moneyball, right?
Of course I have. It's
I'm
like the greatest sports
guys,
movie ever.
We can't recreate Cam Scadaboo. What we can do is recreate him in the aggregate.
Exactly.
Just like we were doing with Tiger Woods.
What does Tyson Brown do? He scores touchdowns. Okay. Yeah. What does Kanye Udo do? He scores touchdowns. Exactly. He gets on base.
Exactly right. He gets on base. But, we recreated Tiger Woods in the aggregate with Roy McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler once upon a time. So why not Cam Scadaboo? Why not Cam Scadaboo in there? But I think this is a really exciting time to be a Sun Devil fan. When Kenny Dillingham was hired after spending 1 year as the offensive coordinator at Oregon, this is what everyone was excited about, right? Like, to me, this doesn't have a feel of, boy, they're really building, and in a year or two, they're going to get there. This feels like the future is now, and they have got an opportunity to put together back-to-back 10-win seasons. Correct me if I'm wrong, for the first time since the 2013-14 campaigns when Todd Graham was at the helm.
Yep, that would be correct. So it's I love that you bring up the fans is what we hoped for, because you can hope and pray and manifest and talk about stuff in theories, but then when it actually happens, you don't know what to do with yourself. And that's what ASU is seeing right now. Is we've talked for years, I mean, till you're blue in the face, that ASU is the sleeping giant for football and potentially other athletics and everything. And like, it's awake. It's awake. And it's like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. And I think that Sun Devil fans have long deserved this after, shall we say, a rough few seasons. But yeah, I think the rest of the Big 12 has got to be on lookout here, Richie, because whatever happens with Deion Sanders, we'll talk about that more on tomorrow's show. And, however successful these other rebuild efforts are going to be, I just look at Arizona State and say, boy, this feels incredibly sustainable. They overperformed this year. That's a testament to their coaching staff, who are all going to be back next year. You've got a bunch of returners. You're bringing in transfers to fill needs. Now it's not just going to be the Jordan Tyson show in the wide receiver room. I like everything that's going on in Arizona State right now.
Yeah, there's just a lot to be excited about. And the biggest thing is that retention. Returning so many players that were starters, that were on the second team, guys who were rotating in heavily. I mean, they had like 5 linebackers that saw significant playing time last year. 4 of them are back. Like, that's the kind of consistency that is returning to this team. And you've got high upside players, none more than Sam Levitt, who is coming back for you and had such a strong season. And I feel like the best is yet to come as he continues to grow and learn in the same offense with his same number 1 receiver. The defense is still really good. Me and you, massive fans of Brian Ward. That defense is just getting more and more and more comfortable. And more than anything, Spencer, Kenny Dillingham wanted to establish a culture. He began doing that. He handed it off to the players to do it from there. And the community, the leadership that you see from these guys, the bonds, the brotherhood that they've built together, it's something that is able to help them be consistent and something that is retaining these guys, because there is something here and it's worth staying for, because these are my brothers and I want to go to war for my brothers. And we have some NIL opportunities. We have lots of academics and stuff like that. But these guys are coming to this program now because there's something worthwhile to compete for. And there's a lot of relationships that they can build at this point in time. There's a lot of great culture that's being built with the Sun Devils. And that's one of the biggest factors that we don't talk enough about.
Expectation versus goal is how I framed their Big 12 title aspirations in 2025. I still don't think you can have an expectation of being there, even with all of these moves. I do get the sense, though, that the floor on the program is being elevated right now, which is a great step forward. But the ceiling to win the Big 12 again, Richie, I look around the rest of the conference, I see plenty of good teams. BYU can be good again. Colorado, if they keep Deion Sanders, look like they're on the upswing if they can figure out the quarterback position. Baylor had a resurgent season. Texas Tech has one of the top transfer portal classes in the country. I'm also excited at the prospect of Texas Tech being a Big 12 champion, because I really like Baron Morton. I think Joey McGuire's a good coach as well. Like, there are a lot of other teams, but just like this year, Kansas State's going to be in the mix too. Maybe Kansas bounces back. Just like this season, Richie, there is no reason right now that I can sit here and say Arizona State won't win the Big 12 championship.
Nope. And it's at a point in time where, like you said, that shouldn't be the expectation, but it should be the goal for ASU.
And it's a reasonable goal.
Right. And it is. Like, you just achieved it, but with everything that's returning, everything that you've proven, and like, not only did you win the Big 12, right, but you go to the Peach Bowl and you provide what has arguably been the best playoff game of this 12-team playoff the first year. There's
Texas and Ohio State was very good, but
yes,
but number 2 is ASU Texas.
Right. So, I mean, there hasn't been a ton, admittedly, but that was the breakout game that finally got everyone's attention, and no one expected ASU to be able to go toe-to-toe with Texas. I said on my show that was the dream matchup because it was a chance to prove yourself. I got ripped to shreds by Texas fans for it because they took it as, hey, this guy thinks that we can beat Texas. No, it was a chance to prove ourselves, and whoop, look at that. We proved ourselves. So this is a program that's absolutely trending in a very positive upward trajectory right now. The Big 12 championship is within your grasp, but like you said, this is a conference that is much better than anybody realizes, and it's once again going to be up for grabs. I think ASU probably goes in as your betting favorite, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to overlook the handful of teams that me and you were just taking a look at.
We'll just have to wait and see on those odds once they get rolled out in the spring. Richie Bradshaw, Locked On Sun Devils. Enjoyed it as always, my man. Appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time, and until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.